Hello, uh, this is Bill Doherty, coach for the Westmeath Minotaurs, and we're going to take you through our offensive line footwork. Just the setup for the rest of the video. What you're going to see in the next few minutes are some slides that I put together that will go before each set of videos explaining the 5 steps that we have. So you can pause the video when you get to each slide and review it real quick before you move on to the video portion, so that you sort of have a better understanding of what is coming up. And feel free to stop the video and then go back to them if you're not understanding, because it does show specifically the footwork that you need to accomplish and what we're showing you in each subsequent portion of the video. So thank you very much, and I hope you learned something.
Hello, my name is Coach Bill Doherty, and this is Connor Doherty. I'm a coach for the Westmeath Minotaurs, and Connor plays tight end, and sometimes he also plays really any position along the offensive line. So we're coming to you from my back garden today because we're filming this in the time of the coronavirus. But this does go to show that you can do some training in your backyard while we're all waiting for the government to clear us to go back to training. This is a follow-on from my football stances video, so if you haven't seen that yet, you might go back to it to review that before you come to this, especially if you're a brand new player or you're a youth player looking into playing American football for one of the many clubs that are here across Ireland. And my subject today is going to be offensive line run blocking, footwork specifically. And Connor is going to be my demonstrator for that. And what we're going to do is go through the 5 basic steps of run blocking. These are the initial steps that you take just after the snap of the ball. So those 5 steps are the base step, the reach step, the angle step, the bucket step, and there's a pull also, and there's 2 different versions of the pull steps that we'll be going through. So what you have here in front of me is a white line, right? We have one white line that's roughly the width of an American football field striped line, and then we have 45-degree lines coming off of that line to the front and 2 to the back. When Connor demonstrates, he'll put his 2 feet right here so you can get a visual reference of the angles that his feet are taking. Okay, so the first thing we're going to cover right now is the power step. And these will be used, the power steps used for nearly all of these steps that we'll talk about, nearly all 5 steps. So Connor comes up to the line, his toes are on the line. Now quickly, what we're talking about here is key is the heel will replace the toe. So the power step is very, very short. Connor, just go ahead and do 1 power step for me. There you go. You can see how his toe is here, now his heel is here. This power step is no bigger than the size of your foot. And that's important because we want to generate power off of this very short step. We don't want to get too far, we don't want our center of gravity to go too far ahead. Okay? One more time, Connor, at combat speed. There we go. That is a power step. And then he'll have a second step in all of the rest of them that you'll see. And the second step is normally near simultaneous with a punch. A punch is a 2-handed movement of your arms, generally into the chest of your opponent to lift him up and kind of deflect his center of gravity so that you can gain a position of advantage on him. All right, so now we're going to... Now that you have all that covered, all the baseline stuff, we're going to go into the base step. The base step is used for a covered opponent, a person who's an opponent that is covering you. Okay, ready, set, go. Okay, and now it's going to use the other foot. Ready, set, go. Now the difference is if I end up being covered on this side, or it doesn't really matter, you have to choose which foot works best for you. If you're covered on this side, you're probably going to have to start with your right foot. If you're covered on this side, you want to start with the foot, again, a better way to say it, closest to your opponent, right? The other thing you need to consider is which way the play is going. So if the ball is going this direction, Connor was going to want to get a position of advantage to block that person from getting to the ball. So more than likely, he's going to want to take a right foot or the play side foot first, so he can gain a better position of advantage. If you consider him taking a left foot or the opposite foot as the ball is going this way, Connor, take that step. You can see that the defender will have an easier time of sliding off of his block and making the tackle since the ball is coming this way. So that's the logic behind the way that you make the first initial step. Okay, the next step that we're going to talk about is the reach step. Now, the reach step is used for you to get a position of advantage on an opponent that is already on your play side. So, for instance, if the ball is going in this direction and Connor has to block me, I already have a position of advantage on him. So he has to be able to get to me quicker, right? And he's got to take a step towards me because I'm not right in front of him. So when we take the reach step, we take a 45-degree step that is, again, a power step. Replacing heel replaces toe, exactly, and then he brings the second foot over. Okay, so both of those steps are short and choppy to maintain our balance and our power and stability. Okay, let's do it. Okay, good. Let's go in the other direction. Ready, set, go. Good. Okay, the next step that we're going to talk about is the angle step. Now, the angle step is similar to the reach step, where the reach step stays square and your toes are pointed forward on the line of scrimmage. The angle step is slightly different, where the toes are now pointed at a 45-degree angle and your body turns. If you can picture a tank can move, right, in any direction, and the cannon can move, or the turret can move in any direction. On the reach step, the chassis and the turret are remaining in the same kind of orientation. In the same way, we are turning, and the tank is all turning. The whole tank is turning at the 45-degree angle and moving up like that. Now, what we're looking for on the angle step, where you would use it, is normally in a double team. So I would be, if Connor is double teaming with me, okay, and we're both in a 2-point stance here, and I base step on someone, Connor is coming in on an angle to do the double team with me, or what some of your coaches will also call a combo block, which is more advanced instruction. Okay, so Connor's going to do the angle step for me. Ready, set, go. Good. We'll go the other direction. Ready, set, go. Good. Now, remember, the key is that we are pointing our toes at a 45-degree angle. It's in a very, very aggressive step, and it's used when we're doing combo blocks and double teams with one of our partners to our left or right. Okay, the next step that we're going to talk about is the bucket step. Now, I don't want this to be confused with what you see sometimes in the NFL, which would be a pass set kind of bucket step, where you see the offensive tackles take these really long steps to get into a good position for a pass block. All of these steps that we're talking about today are run steps. The bucket step is another way to get out on an opponent that is a bit farther away from you. So the reach step would be something that you use when your opponent is right about here. You're still considered covered. If you're uncovered and you have no help, you're not doing a double team and you're not doing a combo, you want to do the bucket step, because you've got to give up just a little bit of space because he's moving across the line of scrimmage. So you've got to meet him where he is. You're not meeting him where he was. So Connor will just do the buckets. Go ahead. Ready, go. right? And he's able to get a better angle on me because I've got more space between myself and him. Okay, so that's why we're using a bucket step versus a reach step or a base step. All right, so the specifics of the bucket step are that he's going to move his foot backwards, but he's really not moving his body backwards. His body is still beginning to move forward. He is just getting his foot back, so he's got that better angle to get to his opponent. Ready, set, go. Okay, notice the step. When you look at it, take a look at where his foot ends up in relation to the line that we're starting out on. So his toes are on the line. Okay, just do the one step, Connor, and then stop. Ready, set, go. Okay, good. A little bit shorter on the step. Try it one more time. Ready, set, go. Good. Okay, so now we're going to do it at combat speed. Ready, set, go. Good. All right, and we'll go to the opposite direction. Ready, set, go. Good. Okay, the next step we're going to cover is the pull step, and there's two of them. The one we're covering right now is the straight pull, okay? And this is one of the favorites of any offensive lineman because he really gets a chance to basically hit a defender full tilt as hard as he can. Okay? And you're either kicking out someone that's been left unblocked, or you are trying to get around the edge or the last man on the line of scrimmage in support of an outside run, such as a sweep or a toss. So it doesn't matter if the play is an outside run or a trap, the steps initially are the same. So Connor's going to demonstrate for us now on go, and he's just going to take the one step, and then he's going to freeze, and I'm going to talk about it. Ready, set, go. Okay, what you see right now is Connor is getting his toes pointed down the line of scrimmage. So that toe is pointed down the line of scrimmage. He has thrown his arm right out, because when we run like this. Okay? We run like that. So we're getting this motion started, this natural motion started on purpose specifically when we do this. So we're intentionally throwing that arm out. We're also, to rotate our body, we're throwing this elbow back, okay, to turn our trunk of our body, turn that tank turret and that chassis around and getting it pointed down the line of scrimmage. And then we take off down the line of scrimmage. So Connor's not going to show it at combat speed. Ready, set, go. Yep, and he maintains his short, choppy steps. Now we're talking about the square pull, okay? Maybe something a little bit new, maybe something you've never heard of. Now it is different from the straight pull because on the straight pull we're using it for a trap block, okay? Or we're trying to get outside to support a sweep or a toss. Now the square pull is for you to become a lead blocker within the interior of the line on the other side of the line of scrimmage, okay? So if you're a guard, mainly a guard, you're trying to get on the other side of the center and then lead the play upfield, and your opponent that you're looking to block is normally a linebacker, okay? So Connor's going to demonstrate now in slow motion. We're kind of going to go through this footwork. This footwork is probably the most difficult that you're going to have to do. So Connor gets a good 2-point stance, okay? And he is going to skip his left foot over, right? Then his second foot comes over. Now remember, when he does it full speed, it's going to look like a skip. And then he's going to go upfield towards the linebacker, okay? It's a way to rapidly reposition yourself to get upfield on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Now these plays must be rehearsed, especially with the quarterback. Pulling the quarterback has got to get out of the way if he's under center. If he's back in the shotgun or pistol, it's not an issue, but it's something that you have to consider when you're designing these plays up. So now we're going to have Connor go at combat speed, square pull, and the reason why we use the term square is he's keeping his shoulders square or parallel to the line of scrimmage as he moves up. If we were to do it a different way, he would turn his shoulders to perpendicular, and then he would kind of have to break and then come back up. Okay, so we're doing this square pull where his shoulders are square to the line of scrimmage as he's making his moves. Okay, Connor. Ready, set, go. Good. First thing we'll do is I'll pretend to be the center. Okay, so he moves over. He's going to get across the center and back up this gap right here. Okay? Ready, set, go. Okay? And now I'm going to be the linebacker. That's his primary target. Ready, set, go. Good. So, thanks, Connor, very much for demonstrating. Those are all the basic steps that we have in our inventory in the Westmeath Minotaurs. That is just how the Minotaurs do it. It's a baseline, and you should always, when you go to your different clubs out there in Ireland, you do what your coach wants you to do. But you can practice this in your backyard, and you can get good at your initial footwork, because most of the footwork across most teams are very similar, if not exactly the same as these. They may be called something different, but the footwork is generally the same. So thanks very much for watching, and good luck in whatever season is upcoming.